Lawwin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawwin Media Network.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, Texas, and good morning, Philippines. We welcome you to our episode for today for Beyond Health and Wellness. This is your host, Dr. Rich, and with me is MJ, Nurse MJ today as well. MJ, good morning to you.
Good evening, Dr. Rich. This is MJ. Yes, I know you're across the universe. No, I'm just kidding. I know it's morning where you are, but it's nighttime here in Texas. So, good evening to all the people here in Texas, to all the people in the United States of America, and good morning po sa mga taga-Pilipinas. And welcome again to another episode of Beyond Health and Wellness with the one and only Dr. Rich. How are you, Dr. Rich?
Very good, actually. Very good. I'm trying to open my eyes, and I think it's open now. So it's a good day. It's a good day for us to talk about a lot of things. Last episode that
I
we had, we were
know, but
talking
can
about
you
interesting things.
before we
Yes.
get there, let's let our viewers know where you are, because it might be a great idea to excite them,
Oh,
right? Yeah. So where are you right
where?
now, Dr. Rich?
Well, I am in one of the islands in the Maldives. It's called the Hard Rock Hotel. I'm not advertising that. It is just a few, let me see, a few miles away from the capital. So we just go there by a speedboat. It's not a seaplane, so it's not far. It's not an island that's too far away from the
Mm-hmm.
Maldives groups of islands. So it's a great thing to be here as well.
Wow, sana all. Yeah, I wish I'm there. That would be nice. I haven't
Yes,
been there.
someday.
Yeah, someday, somehow, I'll be there. But again, before we start, we would like to encourage our viewers. All right, please make sure to participate. You can do your shout outs, ask any questions if you have. And of course, again, you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, stream.lawin.live. And if you miss our live show, you can listen to our podcast, and we have them on Spotify, Amazon Podcast, Google Podcast, and a lot more. So tonight I'm back with Dr. Rich. I know I missed the show last time because I was out of town, and Dr. Rich did it himself, and it was a great show. I think he has some ideas or some more knowledge or information that he wants to share with everybody. Parang segue from the episode last time, right, Dr. Rich?
Yes, yes. We were talking extensively about what we're talking about, which was the part of the nutrition that we have, which is sugar, and how we can avoid it, and all kinds of different names of sugar that could be disguised. They don't
Mm-hmm.
sound like they are sugar per se, but they are sugar, or at least they contain sugar, or they are an alternative to sugar, but sugar at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
now we are, because this is the, what do you call this? Sometimes we kind of loosely use the term that is the poison that is in the food, which it is,
Uh-huh.
because too much sugar, we're ingesting too much sugar. So now really we're diving into that, but we're talking about, so what does that contribute to our health as far as cancer prevention is concerned, and the
Mm-hmm.
overall nutrition and vitamins and minerals and all these macro nutrients that we ingest in our body on a regular basis. So I was thinking we want to talk about what kind of diets we have out there, and
Yes.
there's just so many of them, and sometimes it confuses us. What am I eating right now? What do I call what I'm eating, or the way I eat my food right now, or the kinds of food that I eat? So I was thinking Krisha would present to us some of the slides that I thought that will enumerate the 17 dietary practices that we have.
Wow.
It's
That's
17,
good.
right? Yes, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn from it myself because
Um,
I'm very conscious about what I eat now because I've been learning from the show. We try to avoid sugar, but there are a lot of diets out there, and
right,
sometimes
right.
yeah, you don't really know which one is which. But it's good that you're presenting this so our
It
viewers can
is.
really learn
It
a lot.
is. It
Yes.
is because we are going to really dissect this so that we can understand. It takes time to understand these things.
Mhm.
Scientists and even doctors and healthcare practitioners, nutritionists, takes years for them to understand what we're doing. And we can talk about this in a few minutes. It just doesn't work that way, right? It has to be constantly in front of us so that we will really understand what we're doing. But anyway,
Yeah,
last
that's right.
good
Because
time.
it's a lifestyle, just like anything else. Just like exercise and positive mindset and those things, it's a lifestyle. To
It
get
is.
into a healthy diet, it's a lifestyle. So it's good.
It
We're gonna
is.
learn from this. Okay.
Right, right. So last time we were talking about, especially the part where I think it was interesting when we talk about, and you were here on the other session that we started to talk about rice, right? Because rice
Mm-hmm.
is really a staple for Filipinos mostly, and a lot of culture are also rice based in their diet. And rice is starchy, and it has a lot of, it's a very high glycemic index, and we talk about how do we eat rice? So we cook rice, and when well it's still hot, you refrigerate it overnight, and the following day you just reheat it. You reduce the glycemic index of rice by 30%. So that's really a good thing, and I think people are having fun knowing that because not many people know that. So then we
Right. Yeah.
isn't that
Especially me.
interesting?
I didn't even know that, Dr. Rich. That's why I try to avoid rice. I mean, I'm not kidding. I haven't been eating rice. And the most common thing people think about rice is when it's hot, that's when it's really good, which is
Yes,
true.
which
But
is true.
then there's a way, learning from you, there's a way that you can eat rice healthier with that tip that you gave. You can still heat it, it's still gonna be hot, but it's not gonna affect our blood sugar that much.
Not
Yeah.
much. And the reason
Yeah.
for that is because this starch, right, and it's sugar,
Mhm.
it will be turned into sugar. And the reason for that is when you cool that down, a part of the the elements in rice, which is starch, turn into resistant starch, so it's not
Mhm.
absorbed in the body. So part of that,
Mhm.
that's about
Oh.
30% of that is reduced, so it becomes resistant starch, which is now called polysaccharides, which we are going to
Mhm.
talk. But that's how it works. But not only sugar, not only rice, but we also talk about bread, right, and pasta, all
Yes.
this starchy food. You just go in there and refrigerate it and heat it the following day and eat it. It reduces it, not as much as rice. That's probably 15% for pasta or
Mhm.
bread. But I told them about a secret about the bread, because there's so many different kinds of bread, especially as pandesal, all those kinds of bread. But there is a bread that you could safely eat, which is the sourdough. The sourdough,
Okay.
you can eat it because it's very low in glycemic index. So it's not like we are going to deprive ourselves because we're going to reduce or get rid of sugar. There are still ways in which we can enjoy the food we have. That's the
That's good because again, oh my goodness, I'm really learning a lot because I try not to eat bread because I now I can with sourdough
sourdough.
bread.
Sourdough.
Yeah,
Now,
so
when
that's
you
good.
go in the Philippines, and for our viewers who are in the Philippines, that usually we eat
Pandesal.
pandesal, right? We eat pandesal. So that's starchy right there, which is simple sugar, and it gets absorbed into our body quickly and increase our sugar level.
Sugar.
So
Uh-huh.
really, we don't want to do that. So bye bye pandesal. But really, we're not saying here that we prohibit that. We're saying that you either remove that from your diet or you reduce the quantity of consumption of those
Mm-hmm.
food, because they actually really immediate increase of your sugar level. Now we're talking about here with the slide. So from there we move into
Uh-huh.
this, which are the dietary practices, and
Practices.
one of them I believe is vegetarianism. As you can see there,
Okay. Yeah.
vegetarianism. What is this? Let me just have a quick rundown, okay, so that people can understand where are they and what are they looking at. Vegetarianism is you are eating vegetables, and it excludes meat. You don't eat meat, you don't eat poultry, you don't eat fish, but may include animal products and dairy products like eggs. So that's
Mhm.
vegetarianism. But there's another one, which is veganism. So now you look into, but before, from vegetarianism to veganism, you jump, right? But really, from vegetarianism, there is what we call as the lacto-ovo vegetarian. So that lacto is you don't have a dairy product, you don't have eggs, and no meat. And then there is the lacto vegetarian. So you don't have the dairy, you exclude meat, no fish.
Mhm.
And then you have the oval, which includes eggs, but not. But you exclude the dairy products and meat and fish. So there is the tiny little
Yeah.
variations of
Uh-huh.
vegetarianism, and then you get into the veganism. It's like a
Yeah.
religion, right, or a cult, or a group of following.
It's hard to become a vegan because that's when you really no egg, no meat products, nothing, right?
Yes, yes, that's where we're going. They exclude all animal products, including meat, dairy products, including even honey. You don't eat honey. They typically just avoid using products made from animals, or like leather and made of wool. They don't do that, even
Wow.
if
So
that's not
even
food.
so it's not
Mhm.
just food, even like the clothing and like their accessories and
If
everything.
they are from animals,
Oh.
that means
So
you took the life of that animal, so they don't want that.
yeah,
It's the animals. So it's very cultural for veganism,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then we move on to this one that probably a lot of people can't read much. Pescatarian.
Pescatarianism.
Yes. Have you heard
Yeah.
of that?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Fish.
Yeah.
Pescatarian. Yeah, vegetable and fish. So
Yes.
I have a friend,
Yes.
actually one of my friends when I was at St. Luke's. Yeah, she was our social worker actually, I remember. She was a pescatarian and I mean she was so fit. Yeah, she looks really fit.
So the
Yeah.
first time I heard this, I was in Mindanao, in the
Mhm.
middle of nowhere. It's called the place is called Bukidnon. I was there. I was in. There was a nursing school that I was invited to
Huh?
speak. I thought it was in the city. It wasn't in the city. It was at the top of the mountain, right? But there is a school. The dormitory. The students are there. It's a very beautiful school, and I went there to speak. And during lunchtime, they don't serve anything at all but made of vegetables
Mhm.
and fruit. And
Mhm.
so since I was talking about nutrition, I was talking about cancer prevention and all of that, and so they thought like, so these are all vegetables, and I said I can eat that, and I ate it. And then but then after some time they said, so what are you? I said I try to avoid meat, and also I just still eat fish. I said, well, I eat fish. I did not define myself. And so then they said, well, then you're a pescatarian. I said, oh, that's
Yeah.
what it is. When you eat fish,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's
Uh-huh.
very interesting.
I know,
And
right? That's true. So I love fish too, like salmon, tuna, and tilapia is all, it's
yeah, 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 me
Filipinos,
too.
they love
And,
tilapia.
and
But
there
I
are
love,
other,
yeah, and I love pompano. That's my favorite fish now.
oh, yeah, me too.
Yes.
But there are other, as you can see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are more. We will
Yeah.
talk about that also, but run down very quickly. We'll take a break from now.
Yeah. Yes. We'll see you in a
Yes.
bit.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
In a world cluttered with information, where truth is power, Law and Weekly News stands apart.
We delve deeper, uncover facts, and bring stories to light. From political showdowns and economic triumphs to the pulse of the street and the heart of the community.
We capture the moments that define us, stories that challenge, inspire, and transform.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
back.
What a ride.
I
Huh?
know, right?
It's wavy.
I know.
I'm sure it's not me.
Yeah, not me either. Anyway, we're back.
Yes. So we'll continue about that. And I think the other thing that is interesting here is the number four, which is fruitarianism.
Uh-huh,
Fruitarianism is when you eat only fruit, but
uh-huh.
you don't kill the one that bears the fruit, which is the tree. So if you, let's say if there's a fruit or any like vegetables, you go in there and then you have to kill that plant in order to get that food, then that's not what this one is. You have to, let's say it's an apple, you have to wait when it's falls. You take it out. You don't kill the apple tree, you get the fruit. It's fruitarianism.
Wow.
It's highly cultural and also based on a lot of beliefs there, which is really at some point it's working with a few people. So it's really a choice. Do you have any idea what is this other one, which is politarianism?
I'm not exactly sure. Pollo, is that chicken? No, I'm just
Chicken, yes, that's
kidding.
chicken. So,
Wow, I made the right guess. I mean, I'm not
you,
kidding. I didn't have
uh-huh, uh-huh.
no
So you can
idea, but
tell
yeah.
where this comes from. This the it includes chicken, but it excludes red meat, so beef, pork,
Okay.
etc. So that's polio or the chicken. So it can also include fish and eggs and dairy products. So that's what it is. And then you have
Uh-huh.
flexitarianism. It's getting being very interesting, right? The different dietary practices that we have. You'd think that vegetarian is it, and then non-vegetarian and vegetarian, because that on the plane they ask, "Are you vegetarian?" But there's other things, and so the flexitarianism is when they are mostly vegetarian, but with occasional inclusion of meat or fish. So
Oh, that's probably
flexible.
me.
As you, that's you. Yeah, you're flexible, right? If there's meat, we eat meat. There's vegetable, we eat vegetables too, and that's
Yeah.
what it is. Now, here's the other one: carnivore. Now, this is
Uh-huh.
exclusive to meat. It doesn't
Okay.
matter what kind of meat, but you eat meat. And I see people that just don't eat vegetables and they just eat meat. And the other
Yeah.
one is a balance. Omnivorism is a balance between eating plants and vegetables and fruits and
Mhm.
meat products. So these are usually what humans are like.
It's a
We are
combination
here.
of,
Yes,
yeah,
we are here. You eat
yeah,
anything. Like I eat anything, but you don't eat
yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
It's like sabi nila, your diet is like all you can see, all you can eat. Anyway, we
Seafood.
know what we have. Yeah, seafood. Anything that you see, you eat. And anyway, we have some comments here. I think we just
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
read
Let's talk
them.
about those comments.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Dr.
Oh,
Carly
Carly
D. Good
D.
evening. Yes. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Dr. John and MJ. Good evening, Dr. Carly D. Let's see. Oh, chicken.
Chicken.
LOL.
Yes, chicken. I was wondering why they call it what you
Oh,
call
and
it,
May Divera.
vegetarianism.
We have another comment. May DV. It's hard staying healthy. All I can probably say to myself is I will only
All
live once.
the- yes, and I think there is something serious to that. These ones are the dietary practices of some groups of people and preferences, but it's really based on what do you prefer and what works for you. Follow it, right? And
Yeah,
that's really
that's
what
right.
it
And
is.
then May, I wanna, yeah, we only live once, but May, remember, we also wanna live long. Okay.
Which way
So
we talk?
try
But let's
your
move on
best.
this. How many are left? So there's our 17. There's nine more. So let's go
Okay.
and then just round down very quickly because a lot of them are more common, and if not, then we will talk about that. But
Yeah,
the
let's
number
move on to
nine,
the next slide. Yeah, what's the
what is
next?
number nine? Paleo. So
Oh,
this is
paleo.
common,
It's
right?
more
Paleo diet.
Mediterranean, right?
So you
Yeah.
know that it focuses on eating foods presumed to be available to humans during uh, the Paleolithic era. So that is still fish, vegetables, fruit, and nuts and seeds. And then you have the keto. You see the
Mm-hmm.
keto?
Yeah,
Yes.
high
The
fat,
keto. Is that your
fat.
diet?
Yeah, I tried that too. Just mostly eating avocados and nuts too because they're good. They're high in healthy fat. But I think when I just concentrated on keto diet, it can actually increase your triglycerides if you overdo it. So yeah, I tried that too. But it does work because the idea there is instead of the carb turning into fat, then
You
you actually are eating the fat that will directly provide the energy, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
exactly that.
Mhm.
So that's what it is. And then the other one is halal. So halal is cultural and probably faith-based or uh, belief. It is a system based on Islamic law, or the Sharia. Sharia
Yeah.
is the Islamic law that prescribes what is permissible. That is, halal means what is permissible. How did you
Uh-huh.
butcher it? How did you prepare it? So forbidden, which is as opposed to forbidden, there are things that they forbid in
Mhm.
doing. So that's halal, and then you have the kosher. The kosher is your Jewish dietary system where the food and the meat meet certain criteria in preparation as well. So, and then you have the Jain. The Jain is strict for vegetarianism practice by followers of Jainism. So this is sectarian. This is religious based, the Jain.
Mhm.
And then you have the raw foodism, the one that eats raw food, consisting of uncooked and unprocessed food. So that's what it is.
Wow.
And then you have the other one, macrobiotic diet. It is a diet rooted in Eastern philosophy that focuses on whole grains, vegetables, and occasionally fish. So that's what it
Mhm.
is. And then you have the fasting and restricted diets. There are two things about this, and the one that's very common is, do you guess what it is?
The intermittent fasting.
Yes,
Yes, and
16
I've
hours
done
of
that
fasting.
too.
You've done that too.
Yes. Yes,
You've been
I've done.
everywhere, MJ.
Because I'm trying to stay healthy, Dr. Rich, or I'm trying to become healthy. But the thing with intermittent fasting, if you're doing like the same period like for a long time, like say for example if you're only doing 16 hours for or forever, I think you got to change it up. You have to keep going up, like you have to escalate, because otherwise you don't feel the effect, which happened to me because I was fasting for probably about a year, and I am barely losing anything. But which means I've done as far as 20 hours or 24, but it's so hard to do more than 24 hours. And my husband, I'm not kidding, he has done like 4 days. Could you believe that? 4 days of fasting, just drinking black coffee, water, tea, that's it, and no food. But he says that it gets easier. Like on the first day, you're miserable, but on the second day, you feel better. And then on the third day, you get miserable again. And then on your fourth day, you really feel good. So it's hard though. It's hard for women, especially for me. I don't know, but I've been doing it too, so I can relate to this some of these diets.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there is a comment
Okay.
here from May DV. Isn't raw food dangerous? It could be dangerous if you're not used to it, but if you are in the raw food diet, then your body adapts to it. Just like what MJ is saying, intermittent fasting, your body adapts to it, so it doesn't really bother you. But yes, it
And then
was.
oh, I
You were
tried fast.
diagnosed with PUD. So I think as far as fasting is concerned, what do you think, MJ? You've done this.
Yeah, as far as fasting is concerned, it really depends on the cycle of fasting. Some people they can do it like from early morning to like late afternoon, they can start like their eating window could be that. Because they say that when your eating window actually coincides with your active hours of the day,
Yeah.
actually works better because you're feeding your metabolism. Although, there's a lot of ideas out there. Although some people say, like, I watch some videos on YouTube also that you can start whenever you want for some people, but I don't know. I think it just depends on your body. It's very specific on how you respond or how your body reacts
Response.
yes to.
And,
But PUD, you mean peptic ulcer disease? Is this
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, because some people, because even if you're not eating, you still produce acid, but when you eat, you produce more acid, right? So because the acid is needed to digest your food.
Yes,
So
and then it's all
yeah,
there in the stomach anyway,
yeah,
so it's going to be like that. What I would suggest is if you want to do like fasting, you don't do it abruptly, like immediately, because you
you build
shock
up
your
on
body.
it.
Yes,
Yes,
you build
build
up,
up.
and then
Yeah, you can
then it
start.
develops towards
Uh-huh.
you're okay, and then you extend it a little bit more. You don't just no food immediately, and then after some time, let's say after 16 hours of no food, and then you rush a binge amount of food in it, your stomach and your intestine are shrinked, and then after that immediately it goes up because there's a lot of food that's getting in. So it could be one of those causes when it's
Yes.
abrupt.
Yeah, plus I think it depends on what type of food you actually ingest first. After you have fasted for,
Break,
let's
right,
say,
break it,
16 to
right.
18, 20 minutes, 20 hours, whatever food you take when you break your fast really counts. So
Yes,
I've read that vegetables actually are best because the vegetables will coat the lining of your stomach. Like it protects your stomach from, from stuff, because it just is healthier. It's not hard to digest, right? Vegetables
yes.
are not hard to digest.
So,
So
so we
to
have
me,
this very good
yeah,
practice in our hospitals, because our hospitals,
yeah,
when they're fasting overnight, and then they get a procedure, and after that they recover. So how many hours will that be? So their stomach is empty. What do you do with the patient in the hospital trying to recover? You give them some juice, right?
yes,
Juice, clear
start light.
liquids. It's clear liquids until you're able to tolerate it. Not only
Mm-hmm,
because you want to make sure that their gag reflex or the ability to swallow is intact or has recovered, but also because of the intestine and your stomach, there's nothing there, and you just put some like solid food right there. Let's say a
mm-hmm,
steak that you can swallow immediately. It will uh, tear your stomach lining because it was shrunk, and
yes.
then it expands. So I think
Plus it
that's a good
require,
practice. Yeah.
yeah, plus it will require more, again, hydrochloric, like more gastric acid to
Yes,
digest the food. The harder, so I think, yeah, it depends on what type of food you eat when you break your fast. So, and just take it
slow,
slow and
soft,
easy. Yes,
soft,
take it slow,
soft
because
diet until you
that's
are
right.
able to tolerate some more. Because sometimes we don't even feel it, right? We're just eating
Mhm.
because we're hungry, and now I can eat because after that number of hours that I'm not eating, now I can eat. Then I swallow a piece of 18-ounce steak, boom, and then another one. It just bananas and all that kind of. It's just not the way it works, right?
Yeah.
Natural, your
Yep.
body will be shocked by it. So
Yes.
slow
Absolutely.
it down.
Yes. I think it's 8:30, so we're gonna go
Yes,
on for another short break, and we will
yes.
be back.
We will talk about micronutrients after this break. Hang on with us. Beyond Health and Wellness, we'll be right back.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories, from elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits. I am here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Are you ready for engaging conversations on education, teaching strategies, trends in the classroom?
Tune in to Teacher Talk, Live Chikahan, with your hosts, Teacher Cora and Dr. Claire.
In each episode, we'll dive into meaningful discussions, share insights, and connect with fellow educators.
Don't miss out on the fun and camaraderie. Grab your coffee and join us for some lively Chikahan. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Philippine.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
We have a question, Dr. Rit. Yeah, there's a
Yes.
question here. Let's read the question. Would you recommend one meal a day system of diet? So it's OMAD.
OMAD.
OMAD
OMAD
is
is part of the fasting.
fasting,
What
yes.
was that? What number was that we're talking about the fasting thing? That's number 16. That's part of the OMAD. I wouldn't officially recommend that, but there are people who practice that. What
Mhm.
I would say is eat when you are hungry or when you
Hungry.
feel like it. Because sometimes we just eat, it doesn't matter we're hungry or not, and then or even if we're hungry because we're in the OMAD one and we don't eat. Now it deprives you the appetite, the hunger pangs is a
Mhm.
sign, it's a symptom that you need something, right? And you want to respond to that, okay?
Mhm.
Because if you are in that situation, it can imbalance your system. So the OMAD, however, is one meal a day,
A day.
and you want to do that, but you are used to that, so don't do that abruptly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my
Because
son had
from
done that.
than
Yeah,
that,
one
yeah,
of my sons, yes, one of my sons, he was doing that for a while, like the OMAD thing. And yeah, it worked good for him because really, I mean, and again, as I said, it also depends on what type of food you're going to break your fast with and the
yes,
order of eating the food. Because if you're on OMAD and you ingest sugar right away, I don't think that's a
you'll crush
healthy.
too. Yeah, you'll
Yes.
go up and then you'll go down very
Yes.
easily. So
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 just
be
be careful.
watchful. I think, MJ, the bottom line here is to listen to your body.
Body.
Really
Yes.
practice the ability, or have the keen sense of your body's needs and listen to it.
Hmm.
That's what works for you. That's what works for you, and really juice it to your greatest advantage. But
That's
now
right.
here we're talking about phytonutrients here, because this is really the last time we talked. I said we want to talk about oil, but since oil is a huge subject matter, we don't want
Hmm.
to dive into that immediately. We're talking about phytonutrients first. In that sense, we can dissect it into three, because we know macronutrients, right? Vitamins, minerals,
Hmm.
carbohydrates, you have protein. Those are macro, and we need that, and we don't need to be told what we need, because we eat them. Oh, these are vitamins. It has vitamins in it. It has this. It has potassium and all of that. And
Hmm.
protein, we have meat and vegetables and all of that. And we're talking about the phytonutrients, which is really what we want to get into, because cancer is the most prevalent. I have 9 of my contemporary friends when I grew up. 9 of them died, and there are only like probably 15 of us.
Oh
9
my
have
gosh.
passed due to cancer. That's
Cancer.
a
Oh,
lot, right? That's a lot. Due to
yeah,
all of
yeah.
them, all of them.
Uh-huh.
So what we really want to talk is the prevention of this cancer issue, right? And you know that. And but the ones that are really close to this is the kind of food that we eat, the diets that we're practicing,
Hmm.
but really what's in there is the
Mm-hmm.
phytonutrients. When we say
The
phytonutrients,
phytochemicals, right? Yes.
phytochemicals, that is
Yes.
cancer fighting, right? Cancer
Mm-hmm.
preventing and cancer fighting nutrients that are found in the food that we ingest. The other
Mm-hmm.
one is the antioxidants.
Antioxidants.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's antioxidants. What are these that are
Mm-hmm.
antioxidants? And we want to understand that. And what do you think the other one is? You have phytochemicals, you have the antioxidants, and
Then
do you know any?
polysaccharides.
Yes,
Yes.
polysaccharides.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
talked about sugar before. Remember when we started, we talked about sugar, all kinds of different
Mm-hmm.
sugars, and then saccharides, disaccharides, and then we talk about polysaccharides. It's still sugar, polysaccharides,
Mm-hmm.
and then it comes in as a phytonutrients, which is the
Yes.
cancer preventing and cancer fighting nutrients that are really what's essential in the food that we're looking in the food. And
Mm-hmm.
polysaccharide is the resistant starch that we're talking. We talk about
Yes.
rice,
That.
right? The
Yes. Yes.
resistant starch, and it is also it turns into fiber. So polysaccharides, the best sources of polysaccharides are your mushrooms. You
Mm-hmm.
know this, right? The mushrooms,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
your
Yes, and then my son,
shiitake,
that's right,
shiitake.
that's right. Shiitake mushroom, right? I know that's
Yes.
that's yeah, my son, whenever we go grocery shopping, he always lists those that are really healthy because my son, he's into like health and wellness. Like he researches about the food that he can eat well. I mean, that can protect him,
Yep.
his immune system, that will give him the strong, all the vitamins and minerals that he needs. So he's actually really good. But let's talk about the phytochemicals first, Dr.
Yes,
John.
yes, of course. Of course,
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
yes, because some people, they're not aware that even simple blueberries like this are very rich in or not blueberries. Well, yeah, blueberries and tea, green tea, right? These are rich in phytochemicals because
Well,
they,
let's
yeah.
yeah, let's break that down. Phytochemicals, these are phyto meaning fight, right? And then there are
Mhm,
chemicals. They are naturally occurring chemicals that are found in the plants. You cannot
mhm,
find phytochemicals anywhere else but plants. They are
mhm,
plants. This is your plants, vegetables, plant based. So you can find them here. So let's talk about pineapple, for example.
mhm,
Pineapple has about 26 phytochemicals in them, and it is
mhm,
more powerful, it is more potent than vitamin C. Okay,
mhm,
but you have to eat it whole. That means that your pineapple, when it's processed, you don't have the phytochemicals, it's already processed. The chemicals that are there is not a phytochemicals but synthetic chemicals that will be working against you. Okay,
yes,
when a
yes.
food is processed, the chemicals found in that food is working against you. When your
Mhm,
food is natural and whole, then the chemicals that are there are phytochemicals which are working for you. So
mhm,
that's, for example, that's your pineapple. Now, orange, for example, we always say in our advertisement, vitamin C, and then you have the orange. So vitamin C, orange, which do you think is better? Vitamin C
orange,
or
of
orange?
course. Orange.
Why? Why?
It's natural.
Mm-hmm.
Natural vitamin C.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is whole. You want to
Yes.
eat the whole orange, right? The
Mm-hmm.
orange, the vitamin C found in orange, the greatest concentration of vitamin C in orange is in the peel. It's in
The
its
pulp. That's,
it's in the
yeah.
pulp. That's where it
Uh-huh.
is. Do you eat the pulp?
No. We
Scratch
peel.
the head,
We peel
scratch the
it off,
head.
right? I know.
Right.
That's a practice that we do. We peel off even the apple. We remove the skin, but there's nutrient in the skin, right? So I think we have to change our
Well, we will think
yes,
because
yes.
who eats the pulp of the orange, right? Everybody peels the orange, and that's where the issue is. So now we're saying, okay, well, I'm just gonna take vitamin C in the bottle, right? In capsules, in tablets, and all of that, chewable, gummy, And you think there's vitamins? Yes, I'm not saying there's no vitamin C. There is vitamin C. It's called a synthetic vitamin C because it is extracted from its source. Let's say the source is orange.
Mhm.
You extract the vitamin C from that orange and put it in a tablet. Now, in order to extract the vitamin C from the orange, you need a chemical process, right? You
Yes.
extract it, put a chemical stimulant or a component in it so that it will attach to that chemical and then it will go out. So now you have vitamin C, but you also have the
Plus
same
chemical.
chemicals. Yes. So
Yes.
that's what it is, right? So you don't
Uh-huh.
really not get sick because you have vitamin C. You can still get sick even if you have vitamin C because there are other nutrients that you don't know what, but that's also
Mhm.
ingested in your body. So
Yeah.
really,
What about
take
green
what
tea? What about green tea, Dr.
it
Rich?
will be. It will still be the same thing because you're
Phytochemical
extracting.
too,
Yes,
yes.
there's
Flavonoids,
phytochemicals there.
right? They're called
Mhm.
flavonoids.
Now,
That
well, here's the thing, Flavia, since you mentioned that, we're going to talk about that because this food that we're talking about that are full of phytonutrients, they're colored foods. Colored. Okay, the more
Mhm.
colorful your food is, green, yellow,
Right. Like
orange,
blueberries.
purple. Yes,
Yeah.
those.
Blueberries,
Yeah.
strawberries, all
Anything
the
that has
berries.
color. Anything that
Hmm.
has color in it, and then you mix it up with different kinds of colors, the more phytonutrients are there. So the more colorful the food, which is your plant-based food, the more phytonutrients it has available. Which you said flavonoids. Let's say you have your grapes. Your grapes has or phyto something
Yes.
cyanide. There's a cyanidine. That's what it is in your grapes, but it is found in the seed of the grapes. So you
And
you
we don't
ingest
eat
the
the
whole
seed.
grapes. And then what's your watermelon? You want to look for a seedless watermelon. It's
Huh?
seedless watermelon is genetically modified, meaning that it has in other different kind. You modify the genes of that, and it's no longer the watermelon that your
Yeah,
body
yeah.
needs. And so, but that's tricky, right? For example, ginseng. You eat ginseng. The ginseng is in the roots, right? The best in the roots, but really the best part of where ginseng is found in the ginseng plant is in the berries. But you
Hmm.
don't you throw away the berries because you want the ginseng root. But that's not. It's
Yeah.
just like your what do you call this when we have this sinigang? There is a vegetable, the
Tamarind. Wait,
ginger, the
ginger,
ginger.
ginger.
It's just yes, it's,
Sabi mo sinigang eh. So I tamarind. I want ginger.
we put
The
ginger,
ginger.
right? We put
Yeah,
ginger
yeah,
too.
you put ginger roots. Yeah,
Yes.
we but
So that's what it is.
yeah, usually for sinigang, yeah, we do. But ginger, we use it mostly if we're doing like cooking fish because it kind of
Yes.
neutralizes,
Yes.
the fishy
Now,
taste. Yeah.
that is the best. But we also are also really going to talk about where are these food or plant products sourced from, because we have this ginger all over the place, and we buy them because we think, oh, they're very nutritious and all of that. And then all of a sudden, the best ginger you can find is the one that comes from Chile. It's not just anywhere in
Oh,
the world. It's from Chile. Like the
why
mushroom,
is
not
that
all
so?
mushrooms
Yeah, why is
because
that?
of the nature of their ground, the
Oh,
soil.
the
It's
soil.
very conducive to ginger in Chile,
Mm-hmm.
and like your mushrooms, not just any kind of mushroom. And we find, and there are
The
mushrooms that we don't like.
shiitake is from
But the
where?
shiitake, the shiitake
Is it
mushroom could be anywhere.
okay?
It doesn't matter. But here's the thing about the mushroom, for that matter, is the the age of the mushroom, because the longer it is, then the less the nutrients it has. So you have to have a specific amount of time from when it grows up to certain amount of time, right?
Uh-huh.
That it's very nutritious. When it passes that amount of time, it's still you can still eat that, but the nutrition, the nutritional value is already hugely reduced.
Decreased,
So that
reduced. Okay. Yeah, it's 8:45. Oh my god, just like coffee, right? The longer the
right.
coffee is, it loses its taste. So fresh
Yes,
brewed coffee is better. Anyway, it's 8:45. So, oh my goodness, we're already at the last segment of the
I
show.
know.
I can't believe it. It's going so fast. But let's take another break and we will be back.
Yes.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Pink Table Talk by Dr. Carly D. Tune in and let's think pink on Wednesday. Come join as we are creating community through conversation. This is our voice. We're diving deep into powerful conversations that inspire, uplift, and empower. Season 2 of Pink Table Talk with Dr. Carly D. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. See you there.
All right.
Are we back?
Yes, we are. And it's getting really interesting. I've already learned a lot from tonight's show.
Yes, yes, me too. It's very important that we learn this because we just eat at random, right? Whatever, like me, for example, whatever there, I will eat it. Like where I am right now, whatever they serve me, I will eat them.
I'm just curious, Dr. Rich, what's
Yeah.
the best food in Maldives?
How would I know? Probably fish.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but they serve all different kinds of food. But the thing is, whatever is put on your table or whatever is available there, you go to your pantry and you find a canned goods there. You just eat it, right? You cook your rice, put
Yeah.
some
Which is
salted
not
fish,
good.
you're fine. I know.
Yeah.
It's a practice, and we want to make life better. That's our goal, right? So we want to understand why
I'm
these
so
things.
thrilled though. I'm so thrilled because two of my favorite vegetables, they're actually really high in phytochemicals, like broccoli and kale. I love kale and broccoli. So,
Oh, okay.
yes,
I
yes.
was thinking you were going to mention the Brussels sprouts, which I don't like.
Oh, I think it depends. Have you
You do?
tried the Brussels sprouts from what's that restaurant here in Pearland Town Center? Oh my God, I'm getting blank. But you know how they make it? I think they roast it and put a little spice, and it becomes like if you roast it or grill it, it's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've tried that. BJ's. Yeah, try the Brussels sprouts at
Oh, oh my
BJ's.
God.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna try. That's a good challenge. However, there are things that we don't eat or we don't like eating, right? And
Mhm,
some of those actually are good for us. Like for me, for
mhm.
example, Brussels sprouts. I don't eat them. I don't. I eat other vegetables, but the Brussels sprouts just too nasty to me. When I try that, I'm not saying that it's a bad food. It's just why's my my taste buds.
Yeah, what about bitter gourd? My daughter
I can
doesn't
eat
like
it.
it.
I
Yeah,
can
I
eat it.
love it, especially if you mix it with even just egg. Yeah,
Yeah.
bitter gourd is really good for you. So yeah. Now
The,
let's get to
while we
yeah.
what's that?
What's our
I
next thing? I think
Yeah.
antioxidants are
Well,
moving
yes,
into.
we're going to talk about antioxidant. But since you mentioned the bitter gourd, we eat the fruit, right? The bitter gourd, and then here we go again. The bitter gourd, we eat the fruit. Actually, the leaves when they are young, like the small
Mm-hmm.
newer sprouts,
Yeah.
that is where a lot of concentration of its nutrients is, right?
I love the
And
leaf. Have you
right,
tried
but
eating
the
those?
science really was
Yeah.
pointing where what part of that plant it's
Yeah.
more concentrated, and for this particular plant, it's the roots. It's the
Mhm.
roots of that plant, the bitter gourd. The roots is where the concentration of the nutrients that we get from out of that plant. So really, when you take we'll talk about plant food. Fine, I ate plant food, but which part of the plant food is the lot of concentration? So that's part of that, and
Yeah.
so that's the bitter gourd.
Bitter gourd, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But these are all healthy. I
I,
mean, and
I
I
know,
grew
I
up
know.
eating vegetables. But yeah, let's talk about antioxidants now.
Yes, we
So,
talk about antioxidants. The way I want us to talk to understand antioxidants is the oxidants and then anti. What does
mhm,
this mean to us? Because we are always oxidizing, right? When we're
mhm,
always oxidizing, there is a free radical, and that
yes,
is we're open to that. So when the free radical is in there, it oxidizes, meaning when it oxidizes, it's open, it's free, so it attracts. It's the attack of virus, bacteria, and all
yes,
of
our
that goes
immune
in there,
system. Yeah,
right?
so I
It goes in there, attaches it. That's why we get sick,
sick,
right?
and
That's what it
that's
is.
when our immune system is down, and
Right.
we produce,
because
yeah, anti.
the virus goes in there and we have oxidant. It's open, so it goes in there, attaches to our system, we get sick. So now
Uh-huh.
comes in the antioxidants. Instead of open for attack, it closes it. You
Fights
go
it.
in,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't,
Repels. It
repels it.
repels.
So that's
Yes.
what this function of antioxidants are. And they
Mhm.
are also still available in plant food. They're probably,
But one thing that I like though, that not just plant food, are
yes.
like one of which is chocolate, especially dark chocolate, right? Is rich in antioxidant. At
Mhm.
least, there's something that people love chocolates. But it depends on what kind of chocolate. As long as it doesn't have all the sugars.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's, yeah, sugar. We already talked about that, right? Can be it could be vitamin C. It could be vitamin C and E. It could be minerals like selenium and zinc. Those are trace elements, and then compounds like your flavonoids that you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and all kinds of phytochemicals. So phytochemicals and antioxidants, they work hand in hand.
Together.
But yes, but some of the sources that you're saying is like, let's say, fruits, oranges, and strawberries. There's a lot of. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. My personal observation: oxidants, when they are high, the fruit or vegetables that you can see have a lot of, let's say, the kiwi. You know the
Uh-huh.
kiwi, right?
Yes,
There's a
yes.
lot of little tiny seeds inside.
Seeds. Uh-huh.
Antioxidants. Strawberries. There's some little hairy
Yes.
thing on the strawberries. Antioxidants. So when you think of fruits and vegetables like that, like feathery, itchy,
Mhm.
that probably is very rich. And the reason for that, nature is trying to preserve that.
Yes.
So that's its defense mechanism, so that that antioxidant is preserved, because that's for humans consumption. So
Yes.
then we ingest it. So that's where it is. Just in case you want to look for food sources
Food
that are
rich
rich
in,
in
yes,
anti.
in
Yes.
antioxidants. And yeah, dark chocolate, right, Dr. Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, so kiwi
Yes.
is really good. I mean, especially, is it equivalent to our kaimito, or there are fruits in the Philippines that that are equivalent to some of this, because we don't have, do we have kiwi in the Philippines?
I'm
And
not
then we have,
sure.
yeah,
I'm
so
not
anyway,
sure.
there are like, should be, but rambutan, there's like
Yes, so that
yeah,
one has a lot of
yeah.
antioxidants there. There's
Mm-hmm.
mangosteen, that is a lot of antioxidants. Now, if you look for food that are colorful or red, purple, those for sure, get them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, be careful though, because some of the way they are grown, they put something on the soil, and the plants ingest it, and they are colored, and then they turn into colors. But
Yeah.
that's not natural. That's not it. So they just want to enhance it. It has to have something to do with how did you grow that plant product? Is that organically grown or not
Yes.
inorganic grown? So that's a
Yeah.
whole lot of discussion as
Yes,
well.
difference. Yes, that's a lot of difference there. Yep. So we're learning a lot. So we've talked about phytochemicals, antioxidants, and I think we gotta talk briefly about, oh, what is that?
Polysaccharides.
Yeah, polysaccharides. But there's a background noise in the background playing TV.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Anyways, anyways, yeah. So what about the polysaccharides,
So
Doctor Rich?
polysaccharides, so they are complex sugars, right? So when we say complex sugars, they're still going to be sugars. So they are basically starches. So, but they are complex carbohydrates, and they are made
Uh-huh.
of long chains sugar molecules. So when you have foods like that, the role of that food is energy storage. It stores the
Hmm.
energy. It's also for structural support, but it doesn't get into the system as much as
The
the
simple
other, the
sugars.
simple sugar. So
Yes.
that comes from, let's say, you have your starch, you have your cellulose, and you have your
Mhm.
beta glucans, I would say, pectins.
Grain. Yeah.
Yes, the grains. We
Mhm.
want to talk about whole food,
Mm-hmm.
whole, not partially, and then let's say you have tomato, and then you have sun-dried tomato. That is messed up. right?
Mm-hmm.
Sun-dried tomato is best. So you can eat that. That's fine. But we're not talking about the polysaccharides here anymore, antioxidants. It's just food, right?
Yes.
But you want to really have the one that contains all this that we're talking about: phytonutrients. You have the antioxidants and polysaccharides. They are to be whole. You
Whole.
have to eat it whole, right? It's
They're
not
not
preserved.
processed. Mm-hmm.
They're not
They're not.
processed,
Yes.
right? So as far as polysaccharides is concerned, we know that that is complex sugar. They are non-digestible. Okay, so they
Mm-hmm.
contain also what? Fiber, right?
Fiber.
And the best,
Yes.
and the best source of that. So we're not saying grains you can get that, but the best source of since because great grains it could turn easily into simple sugar. That's why there's a way to do that. But really, when you directly random, you have the mushrooms. That's your
Mm-hmm.
best source of
Or
polysaccharides.
fiber. Yeah.
Fiber, yes,
Yes.
broccoli, and you have those
Mm-hmm.
carrots and whole grains, all those kinds of course, fruits. All of this that we're talking about, phytonutrients, you have phytochemicals, you have the antioxidants and
Oxidant.
polysaccharides. They are all coming from plant food.
Yes. So that
Okay?
means we should eat all plant. I'm just kidding. But again, as we have said earlier, whatever fits your lifestyle and
Yes,
that works best for you. And the
yes.
important thing is they should be balanced.
Yes, and it
Yes.
gives you the
Yes.
result you want.
Yeah.
Now,
It gives you the energy, it gives you the building system and protects you from, it helps your immune system and all that as long as you have those. And again, we have said in the past, you don't have to have an abrupt change because lifestyle change is not easy. I mean, it's not like overnight thing. You have to build up on
no,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
one
you have to be
step at a
willing.
time. Yeah, one change at a time. You incorporate this healthy foods that we have talked about, even just one at a time until you get used to it and your body adapts to the change. Then you can add more. And as until you find that lifestyle that you are only gonna be not only, but sometimes here and there you can eat to pleasure, for pleasure, right? But as long as you're concentrating on trying to stay healthy, and then again, simple steps. That's all we
Right, right.
really, yeah, because we know that it's not easy to make all these changes at once. Yes.
Although it's worth it. So let's
Yes.
remind our audience, MJ, that we'll welcome
Mhm.
questions and comments from them, even their personal testimonies. And we also would like to, we appreciate that they are with us today. And there's
Mhm.
like a few, quite a few of them
Yeah,
that are with us
that's
today. So
true.
we
And actually,
appreciate them.
yeah, and Dr. Rich, we can actually encourage our viewers, if you have any topics that you want us to discuss and tackle in the show, feel free to let us know and we'll do our best. Yes.
Yes, yes. So we're running out of time, but now we have talked about these phytonutrients that we're talking about. Now we can talk about oil for next time.
Okay, yes, that would be very interesting. You know what? I
Yes.
learned a lot from that when you presented it at the Philippine Nurses Association, like like educational offering, and I bet you our viewers will learn a lot from that topic as well. So that's going to be something that you can look forward to, and I can look forward to again because I think, of course, when you hear it just once, it doesn't really stick
Yeah.
in right away,
Yeah.
but if you hear it again, that would really improve my retention
Yes.
of this
Yes.
topic.
And me too.
Yes.
And I think all of us, it's a learning process. But we're here
Mhm.
for you, everyone. Thank you for being with us. This has been your Beyond Health and Wellness podcast. My name is Dr. Rich, and with me is MJ. MJ, thank you very much for your
Yes.
time. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
Yes, good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.